What's going on, everybody? I am back with another Prize Picks NBA player props video. This one going to be breaking it down, giving you guys 3 picks, get you winning some money over here on Prize Picks in the NBA tonight. As always, if you haven't checked out Prize Picks, would I recommend you check them out? It is a player props website and app where you can win money off of picking the over and under on things like players' points, rebounds, assists, points, rebounds, assists, fantasy score, 3-pointers made, etc. Go ahead and use that promo code KJK DFS to receive an instant match on your first deposit up to $100 today. Again, that is code KJK DFS. Go ahead and lock that in. Get that free money offer. Start winning some money over here on Prize Picks with these picks today, guys. If you are looking to really get serious, vamp up your game, would highly recommend you check out my premium content package. That is linked below in the description. It is patreon.com/KJK_DFS. You can also just visit patreon.com, search KJK DFS in the creator search bar. You will see me pop up. Do offer lower tier packages if you want to get access to my Prize Picks NBA lower tier package. That's going to give you access to every single one of my core plays, all the plays within my tickets after all of my research is done. Some bumps may occur in this package, though, after all that research is done and all those picks are released. So if you're looking to really get serious, step up your game, get all your picks in before these bumps release, at the exact moment that I am placing my tickets myself, get immediately alerted. Check out the KJK DFS VIP member package. That's going to get you access to all picks, all apps, all sports as soon as I place them. And a whole lot more in that package, providing as much possible value as possible and always listening to feedback. I got a whole lot of ideas of how to make that even better for 2023 and onwards, so I'm going to keep working hard on that. Would love to have you join the team, and if you enjoy this content, it would be greatly appreciated if you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. It is free. It takes 2 seconds to do. It does greatly help me, and I will be providing these videos for free all NBA season long to help you guys out with this free value. If we can get this up to 500 likes, that'd be awesome. That's going to be the goal for all these videos. We are on a 4-2 run. The last 2 videos, we've gotten hurt by a blowout and some foul trouble. Trae Young just needed, I believe, 1 more point, maybe 2 more points to hit his over. I believe 1 more point. Same could be said for Jonas Valanciunas, who needed another bucket the video before, where he was able to get into some foul trouble issues that cost us last time. Trae Young just didn't see the floor again because of a blowout. So 4-2 due to some unfortunate circumstances. But looking to keep it going to this one. If we can have a good night and get that winning percentage up above 70% and officially get on a hot streak, that'd be awesome. So first game we're going to discuss is the Brooklyn Nets taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. This game has a 221 over-under, 2-point spread in favor of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I'd like to discuss the Brooklyn Nets. They have some of the most predictable usage out of any team in the entire league. They got Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons as more of a distributor, Claxton as an active big man, but the usage has been very predictable for them all season long. And I'd like to target their top usage guy tonight in Kevin Durant, who I do think has a prop that I definitely want to be targeting. You look at the overall usage, break this down on a fantasy point per minute production aspect for Kevin Durant. Guy has a 31.1% usage rate overall, 1.131 fantasy points per minute when you're looking at his usage with Joe Harris off the court. But when we're looking at him on the season, it's actually been even better than that. He's putting up 1.37 fantasy points per minute. Going to play up in the upper to mid 30s, 36.4 minutes per game. He has been playing 37, 38 minutes per game in competitive ball games. And it is for all these reasons that I definitely do think that his fantasy score prop is one we want to target today. Kevin Durant can really do it in all categories. He can score, he can rebound, he can assist, and he's also going to get you those blocks and steals. You get 3 points for every one of those as far as the fantasy score is concerned over here on Prize Picks, which is going to be some props that we're talking about today, the fantasy score props. For those of you that don't know how the fantasy scoring works on Prize Picks, you get 1 point for every point, 1.2 for every rebound, 1.5 for every assist, 3 points for every block, 3 points for every steal, and -1 for every turnover. And I am definitely liking where Kevin Durant's fantasy score line is set out over here on Prize Picks at this 42.5 line today. Has cleared this in 3 of the last 5. Once again, this is a game that is expected to stay close with only a 2-point spread, which is half the battle when it comes to getting the full production out of your players. Last couple times out, he's been involved in 2 blowouts. Essentially, Milwaukee really was having a tough time hanging around in that last game. Golden State absolutely blew them out. If he can get a full amount of run, I think he's able to clear this line very easily. Is a major favorite on sportsbooks to clear his points prop as well, which has already been bumped over here on Prize Picks. So for me, instead of going with that points prop, I love the fantasy score prop. It's Kevin Durant. We just kind of talked about it. He's getting massive minutes. He's getting massive usage with a 31% usage rate. Anytime a guy's over 30% usage, that's elite. 1.37 fantasy points per minute. And I've got him projected to go ahead and go out there and put up in the upper 40s minimal tonight from a base projection aspect. So I do think he's able to get right up around 50 fantasy points tonight. So love this prop for sure. Keep in mind that 42 fantasy score last time he was taking out the game a little bit early because Milwaukee couldn't hang around. So Pick number 1, we're going with the over 42.5 fantasy score here for Kevin Durant. That will be pick number 1. Pick number 2, we have another high usage guy I want to talk about in a great matchup. It's going to be Paul George taking on the Detroit Pistons. The Los Angeles Clippers are going to be without Kawhi Leonard tonight, who will be sidelined, which is obviously very relevant when it comes to Paul George because it's the Kawhi Leonard and Paul George show when he's on the court. Kawhi will take away some of that usage from Paul George. Not going to be out there in this one, which is a big deal. You look at the usage overall for the Los Angeles Clippers with no Kawhi Leonard on the floor so far this season. Paul George has a 33.1% usage rate, over 30% usage rate, once again, putting up 1.21 fantasy points per minute. Very similar to what we just discussed with Kevin Durant, where he can do it all. He's going to get you some blocks and steals. He's going to score. He's going to rebound. He's going to assist. Similar to what Kevin Durant plays, the 3-4 type of position, shooting guard, small forward. I guess you could call it the 2-3 when it comes to Paul George, but very similar roles in that they do it all. They do have some defensive mindedness, some defensive abilities as far as getting some blocks and steals. And the Pistons, terrible defensively. I've talked about this a lot if you've been watching my content throughout the NBA season, but Bojan Bogdanovic is going to be the guy that might be, given the task to somewhat try to slow down Paul George along with the rest of this Detroit Pistons squad. And we're looking at the bottom 25 defenders in the entire NBA on this list right now. Bojan Bogdanovic is dead last in the league in the defensive rating. He's been terrible defensively. Sadiq Bey, bad coming off the bench. Jaden Ivey in that Detroit starting lineup as well. Really bad defensively. Killian Hayes in the Detroit starting lineup. Really bad defensively. We're looking at the worst top 25 defenders, and pretty much the majority of the Detroit Pistons starting lineup is in here. And not to mention, those are the exact defenders that are going to have to try to slow down Paul George. It's not going to be Isaiah Stewart or Jalen Duran trying to slow him down. It's going to be the combination of Killian Hayes, Jaden Ivey, Bojan Bogdanovic, who we just discussed, are 3 of the worst defenders in the entire NBA. So I think Paul George is going to eat in this matchup. No Kawhi Leonard. Should get a nice usage bump. Once again, he has a 33.1% usage rate with no Kawhi Leonard on the floor. You look at his fantasy point per minute production on the season, Paul George putting up 1.2 fantasy points per minute. Once again, obviously expect that rate to be a lot higher with no Kawhi Leonard. And a lot higher against this Detroit Pistons squad, man. Just kind of discussed it, but they've been that bad defensively. And then we'll just look at my defensive half court and putback sheet right here on the VIP tools, just to give you confirmation. Detroit's 29th overall. That's second to last in points per possession rank. 29th in half court points per play in the half court setting. And would not be surprised at least to see them be one of the top turnover teams as well in the entire league. We'll see 17.3% turnover rate for the Houston Rockets. They have the worst turnover rate. Detroit Pistons, middle of the pack, 15th. So they have been turning the ball over a decent amount. Not too bad. But enough to where we could see some, steals out of Paul George like we always do. Very active hands on their defensive end. And once again, a guy that I do have projected to go out there and put up around 50 fantasy points. And Prizepicks simply has him too low on the fantasy point prop, in my opinion, at this 41.5 fantasy score. Similar to Kevin Durant, they've got them both in the low 40s. I've got them both to score at least in the upper 40s, if not 50-plus fantasy score tonight. So I want to be taking advantage of this prop for pick number 2. Going with the over 41.5 fantasy score here for Paul George. That will be pick number 2. And then pick number 3. Rounding things out, we're going to go down to another great game environment. Much higher total in this one. It's going to be a 234.5 over under. 3.5 point spread in favor of the New Orleans Pelicans. Zion Williamson did just get rolled out. I'm wondering if this changed a little bit. Yeah, so now we're seeing a 2-point spread in favor of the New Orleans Pelicans with a 234 over under. 116 implied total for the Indiana Pacers, and we once again have a very good fantasy point producer on their side in Tyrese Halliburton. Not exactly as much of a high usage guy as the two guys we first discussed, but the fantasy point production hasn't been impacted by it. We're talking about a guy that puts up 1.34 fantasy points per minute on the Prizepicks fantasy score format. That's more than a lot of elite guys on this slate. That is the best fantasy point per minute rate for a point guard on the entire slate. Better than LaMelo Ball, better than Damian Lillard, better than Kyrie Irving, better than CJ McCollum. All elite names that you might not think Halliburton has better rates than. But when it comes to the fantasy point per minute production rate, he does. You look at the Indiana Pacers usage on the season. Mathurin's a guy that's going to come off the bench. He leads the team in usage, but second on the team in usage is going to be Tyrese Halliburton, who does have a 24.5% usage rate. Just talked about it, though. He's putting up 1.33 fantasy points per minute. Really, really good. Another guy that's very active on the defensive end, can rack up a lot of steals. Once again, you do get 3 points for every one of those steals. It's always something that I'm going to discuss. He's also a guy that's going to get a lot of assists. Top assist guy in the entire NBA. Just kind of talked about the scoring format over here on Prizepicks, but those assists are very valuable. You get 1.5 points for every one of those assists. That tops the rebounding and the points The only thing you can get more points for, as far as fantasy score, is blocks and steals. But Halliburton, a guy that's going to be dropping a lot of dimes. Once again, he does lead the entire NBA as far as potential assists per game. We'll go ahead and pull that up for you guys just so you can get a visual here on Mr. Tyrese Halliburton. 20.2 potential assists per game. He's creating 28 assist points per game. 28 points created per game as far as assist points created per game. He's got a 14.1 assist to pass ratio. That is very good. That's also indicating that his teammates are doing a good job of knocking down those shots when he gives them those opportunities. So, but he can score, he can rebound as well. Very well-rounded guard. He's been playing in the mid to upper 30s in competitive ball games. We saw him play 38 minutes last time against a Miami squad. 43 points, 1 steal, 1 block, 7 assists, 2 rebounds. The time before, 33 points. So, if you're a guy that likes to look at recent form, Halliburton definitely in good recent form as well. And once again, I do think his fantasy score prop is undervalued over here on Prizepicks. They do have him set in the low 40s, similar to the 2 guys that we talked about already. I do have him projected to go out there and put up at least in the mid 40s. I do have all these guys clearing their prop by at least 5 fantasy points. And Halliburton, I've got right up there with KD and Paul George practically in the upper 40s for fantasy score. So once again, lower 40s is where they have their line set. I think these guys go up there and put up at least in the upper 40s, if not 50 plus for all these props today. So pick number 3. I'm going with the over 40.5 fantasy score here for Tyrese Halliburton. Great game environment, great fantasy point per minute producer. Game should stay close. All these games having close spreads. So, love these 3 picks for sure. Go ahead and lock them in. Start winning some money over here on Prizepicks, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this content. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. If you haven't checked out the premium content packages, I don't know what you're waiting for. There's going to be a whole lot of value, a whole lot more to learn over there, especially in the VIP member package. If you're really looking to step up your game and profit over a whole year, that's where you want to be. This is not a 1-week race to profit over an entire year. It's going to take a lot of discipline, a lot of learning, a lot of managing your bankroll, a lot of strategy to profit over an entire 365-day period, and that's the best package that's going to give you access to some strategies and a community that's all helping each other, working hard to find the best picks. Not only my own expertise, but we've got over 600 people in this Discord, grinding, working hard, researching, coming up with picks, helping one another out. That's what it's all about. So that's all for me in this one, guys. Wishing you all the best of luck on your NBA player props tonight, and we will see you in the next one.